The following program is a production of Naleo TV.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very first Techsum podcast. Techsum being a play off of dim sum. I love food, but I also am a tech enthusiast. You know, we use it on a daily basis. Our cell phones, computers, that's all STEM related. But what's great about dim sum is that you can have it every day, or in some are just like super savory, which you can talk about the flavors and whatnot. And then in this case, we're going to deep dive into some Techsum today, and we have some amazing guests. We have Gail and Maria of NexTech.
Thank you, Chris. I'm Gail Takaki, and I'm one of the co-founders of NexTech. So I'll be able to share a little bit of our history. And it's been a very nice experience since 2015, and we're really enjoying continued success. My background has been as a volunteer in leadership training, and so it fits well with what we're doing with NexTech.
Aloha, my name is Maria Gakula. I'm a local small business owner, and together with my family run a small little mom and pop grocery store in Kea'au. My background, I studied architecture at Washington State University, local born and raised, moved to Washington to kind of explore the world. Found architecture, earned my master's degree in architecture, decided to come home because I missed home. There's nowhere like it. And spent most of my working career in residential architecture. That's where I met Gail. Started volunteering or kind of showing up in different events or programs. And then 2 years ago now, took on the fish tank program manager role for NexTech Hawaii.
Awesome. I met actually Gail back in 2014. This is where I wanted to raise my kids. And then I came home, and one of the first people was Gail, and she was just starting NexTech. So if you want to kind of deep dive into how that got all started.
So NexTech is a nonprofit that focuses on inspiring youth in STEM skills and STEM careers. All of this is important because connecting skills to career really matters, because then they can dream about what they want to become, much like you in aerospace and Maria in architecture. We focused on expanding student access, like you mentioned, giving more students opportunities to learn STEM, and how we do it, I should say, incorporates a number of things. We have a 100% volunteer team, and it saves us lots of money. We have really good partnerships out there that affords us very little cost or no cost to the facilities that we use. All of this adds up to our ability to reach out to students and offer any interested student tuition-free learning. But originally and officially, our nonprofit is the Success Factory. It was inspired by two people who went to explore the ideal type of teaching. And so they discovered Dale Olive and Eric Hagiwara of Waikea High School. Dale was an expert in physics, engineering, and robotics. Eric was his partner in robotics, but also taught math and computer science. In combination, they created a wonderful way of teaching students through the project-based learning. It is really essential for kids to learn theory and put it into practice in their hands so that the learning is theirs. The nonprofit, the Success Factory, was actually gifted to a group of volunteers, and this is where Mayor Mitch Roth comes into play. The nonprofit was actually given to a group of us: Eric Hagiwara, Dale Olive, at that time prosecuting attorney Mitch Roth, and myself. And we added to our team a student named Akil Marshall, Doug Simons, who's famous in astronomy, and Doug Adams. And we became a team that was a mix of Rotarians and community leaders that embarked on this. We chose to partner with Eric and Dale and apply their style of teaching to STEM learning in a new program called NexTech. So that's the birth of NexTech. Beyond doing STEM programs, much of NexTech is about how we teach. That's unique, and that is where the value comes through. And so in studying them, we noticed that Eric and Dale had great results with their students, going on to prestigious universities and really ideal careers in engineering, computer science, and others. But what we learned from them are the following. Teach young students that you are able to inspire them and help them discover passions that will last them for years. The other one is when you teach young students, have them bring their parents and let them learn together. Parents learn the language. Parents then have common base for communication and for encouraging their child. All of that matters to the child's growth and opportunities. The other one that Eric Hagiwara really taught me was to reverse the normal process of teaching. So you do this by building relationships first, because you want to break down the barriers of working together with others and to break down any barriers of learning. The second one is to create relevance. And so when you explain why and what you're about to teach, it gives students reason to have interest and learning in the curriculum that is called rigor. Make challenges within your lessons because you want to stretch them. You want them to find their own discoveries and solutions that they can own. The other one is teach STEM students to become mentors. In working with students and parents, younger students and parents, they gain a lot of communication skills and leadership skills and confidence in their own knowledge. Creating a space where failure is expected is probably a big one. And to teach them that through every experience, there's so much learning to do to get to a better solution or a better product. And most of all, make it fun. So these are the things that we try really hard to roll into NexTech programs. So in 2015, that's when we received the nonprofit, but we didn't get started until 2017. And that may be the year that, Chris, you traveled all the way to KMC to sit for an hour and have a lunch or a dinner with A students, because we tried really hard to incorporate career-connected learning in everything we do. And there is such an interest in aerospace, and we don't find many on Hawaii Island. But it was a thrill to have you there and to encourage and influence. I'd like to just make a small mention that Chris's influence within an hour got a student to Embry-Riddle almost immediately within a month. And he just finished graduating.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, that I do remember that camp. So yeah, I got to meet one-on-one, and these students are super bright. Some were from public schools, some were, and the one I think I talked to was from homeschooled, in fact. So yeah, it's great to know that my little our conversation with them promoted them to pursue something in STEM, and and my former alma mater as well. So that's even better. Yeah.
I think meeting and sitting down with an adult is a first-time experience for many of them. And to understand that, we're just people, and then this gentleman or this woman is willing to help me and guide me, opens the door for them to understand that even if they're looking at engineering, it is a whole array of opportunities within that field or within data analysis. There's just no limit. And like they say, we don't know today what careers are going to be created tomorrow. So,
and just to harp back on, just to go back to that camp, there wasn't just 5 students. I think there was over 30 students.
About 30 students.
And then we also had at least 20 folks from the industry there. So again, folks just taking their time to make sure that our children are set up for success. That was just, you don't see that too often in that capacity. And to have the one-on-one interaction was something else to behold. So
I know, an hour of eye-opening information.
Yeah.
It can really catapult a student. So let me get to the program. Let's start with the camp that you relate best to. It's our advanced camp for high schoolers. We did this pre-COVID, and we've kind of shifted on the high schools from being outdoors and camping over weekends. But in the national park, we had students solve a national park issue. And of course, that was a live fire ants that was addressed. But within that process, they learned how to create web pages. They learned firsthand how to maintain an engineering notebook and all the stages of an engineering process. We had students that were in the medical field or aspiring to become doctors and nurses there. So everything we did hands-on was really new for them, like building and competing with robots, flying drones, working with mini computers. All of that were incorporated into that 2-day weekend. Since then, or at least in more recent, this recent year, we really turned our focus on career-connected learning. We had an opportunity to introduce 20 aspiring engineers to over 20 professional engineers for a lunch. Oh, the conversations were so rich, and we're so thankful for the Big Island engineers to have met with us on that day. So other than that, in our high school group, we really encourage them to become mentors. That is a superior experience for them to work with other students and adults and really gain leadership. So a good example would be our 3D program. It's unique because this is student-run. There's a team of student mentors and a program manager. They will distribute 3D printers to families, students and their families. And they can be from all over the island. And we have experienced that from students coming from all around the island to participate in our 3D program. What's nice about it, and it's an outgrowth of our COVID experience, is that it's an at-home experience. They take their printer home with supplies and filament, and they communicate with their dedicated mentor via an online communication system, and they learn for 4 weeks. So it's in 6-week cycles that we have new students coming in and working with our mentors. I have to give kudos out to the Waikea Robotics students who are partners and run this program, because they don't make a one-day commitment. They make a whole school year commitment to 3D printing.
I agree with that. My kid was actually in this past, or the summer one that we had. And yeah, if you guys are wondering, this is the beast that they give you. It's not $100 toy that they give. This is
serious equipment.
Yeah, and student run. And that was what shocked me. It was student run for students. And I love, you hit upon it, and I was wondering why we had to be involved as a parent, and just the nomenclature of using Discord, communicating through Discord, where, I'm a little bit old school. I like to be in classes and whatnot, but being there one-on-one with the kids. And I had very little experience with the 3D printer at that time, the specific one. And it was great. They solved all the problems. Well, they didn't solve all the problems. We had to figure out what was wrong. My kid was super happy that, okay, it's not just another boring guy teaching. It's somebody I can look forward to, what I can be in the future, who I can help in the past. And he's just in 6th grade right now. So awesome.
Can I, on that
Okay,
also,
Maria
because I had a
has an
similar
experience.
experience too with the 3D printing, because my son did it 6th grade too. And, the parent being involved, also learning, what is Discord and why do I have to be on there? And I don't know how to sign up. And now you got to check, and regularly just being involved in the lessons. The thing that also happened at home, because we live in a multi-generational household, is everybody sat down around the 3D printer and watched it too. Like my son for a little while, okay, yeah, it's just doing the same thing over and over again. I'll come back in a few hours. But my dad sat down, my mom watched for a little while, and everybody was just in awe of what is this thing and what is it doing? How is it working? So it really got the household also asking questions and thinking about wow, this is just the most amazing thing. What is it? So I think
it's not just a toy.
It's not.
And it gets everybody involved to a point where, hey, can you make this for me? 'Cause,
Right?
I mean, that's one of the things that opened my kids' eyes. It's oh, I don't have to. Well, it's cost effective, but it does open their eyes. It was oh, I can just make a bracket. I actually had my kid design the for my mailbox. It fell over, so I made him a bracket out of that, and it's currently holding up my mailbox.
There you go.
Well, so he's learned a lot from it.
we'd like to step them up in the future to do more design. So we look forward to advances in that program as well. Other things that have happened are our camps. I think they're really critical. So during school's seasonal breaks, we dedicate that to varied groups like the elementary, fourth to sixth graders. And then in middle school, we do sixth grade to eighth grade. And these camps are just high energy, full of excitement, and endless amount of hands-on activities that they learn through. And so it takes quite an army to put it together, and really the expertise of Dale and Eric that have added so much to our success in those programs. So students can look forward to that. And then workshops, some of them are explorations that go outdoors, marine life. We did bird conservation. They used ArcGIS. They incorporate a lot of tools, in the field. And so a lot of fun to create as well as to participate in.
And again, tuition-free learning,
Yes.
which I think is really such a blessing for families who also have kids like mine, who maybe doesn't really know exactly what it is, but now through the camp gets to see a full idea of what it is, and then for them decide like, oh, that's not what I thought it was. That's cool. Or like get really excited, like, oh, okay, let's keep doing more of that. So,
I completely agree with that statement. Their generation, jobs will exist that hasn't even been created yet. So for them to be to have their eye open, to get this experience, we need more of that on the island. And it's not just living off of the past. It's always looking forward to the future, inspiration from the past to move forward. Yeah.
Well, we have a new inspiration, and it's drones flying. And that's something that relates so well with you. Chris, you've been helping us with that program. So we have another student-led program. This team goes out to community and school events to just introduce flying drones to kids and some adults. And they all love it. What it does, though, for NexTech is give us opportunity to talk to the parents about our programs and encourage enrollment. And so it's a really good marketing tool that can be out in the community.
You see the drone, you got to go towards the drone and see what's happening over there.
So one of the things that I invited you guys here specifically is to talk about the fish tank competition, fish tank design competition. That's what it's called. One of our community creators was a participant, and he actually filmed the whole experience, right? And it's actually live on our one of our stations. You can go look on naleo.tv on their certified producers, content creators. Hopefully that'll be changed. But it's one of our content creators who created this, and is well done. So Maria, I'm assuming you're going to lead this.
Sure. No, I like how you were talking about. We were talking about how students are taking from the past and being inspired and taking it to the future, or thinking about the future. And that fish tank is really, really that. It's a STEM challenge or STEM competition is what it started as. This year, we're calling it the Sustainability Design Challenge. And at the core of it, it's a problem-solving challenge. Our world, we need good, thoughtful problem solvers. And the way that Fish Tank does that is teach skills and teach the way of thinking that's going to help us get to really thoughtful solutions. We call that the engineering design process. But then also, because we are here in Hawaii and have unique problems than anywhere in the world, we have a unique culture as well. Placing those kind of skills and decision-making and problem-solving skills in this place. So solving real problems. How it works, or what we do, is we take students from grades 5th grade to 12th grade who are here on Hawaii Island. Students work in teams, up to 4 people max. And they choose an area of sustainability through the Aloha Plus Challenge and the Aloha Plus goals that we partnered with. And they choose a problem. They choose a problem. Sometimes they're following their interests. Maybe they're trying to find a better way to compost, or they're looking at something that happened in their lives that need to figure out. But what we do is we ask these students to run through the engineering process in these like 7 specific steps to say, okay, understand the problem, get to the root of it, define what that problem is, and now brainstorm all the ideas, but then do it thoughtfully so that you can get to a few solutions, and then now try to make these solutions into something. And it doesn't have to be a thing that we can see or play with. It could be a concept. It could be a thought. It's pretty rigorous. It's like 8 weeks of really intense on their own learning. So they're making their own schedules, getting together on their own. They work with a team coordinator who's usually a parent, could be an educator or a coach, to help them get through these 8 weeks, try to stay on track, try to stay on task. And then we ask them to submit their final materials. And it's like a technical summary, a few pages. They have to write something of their project. They have to pre-record a presentation, put together a slide deck, submit that to our panel of judges, and then 5 finalists get chosen to present at the in-person event that we call Pitch Day. And so Fish Tank was inspired by Shark Tank, obviously. So Pitch Day is really that these 5 finalists get in front of a live audience. We have our judges in the front, and there it's like a 5-minute, here's my idea, here's how we got there, this is what it is. And it's like super intense. The first half of Pitch Day is that. The judges go back, evaluate, and then at the end, we hear from guest speakers or supporters of NexTech, but then also award scholarships to the winners. So it's a really intense 8 weeks with a really fun, intense pitch day, and it's all about problem solving and trying to solve real problems around sustainability here.
Could you go into who the winners were last year just for inspiration?
Last season, our winners were Team Loss, a group of Ocean View homeschool students. They were impacted or inspired by the Mauna Loa eruption that was happening. They had moved recently into that area. And then when the eruption was happening, right in their backyard, right, was trying to find information, and it wasn't there. So their idea was a lava alert system. That's what LOS stands for, is this website hub where you can go to find up-to-date information and then resources around getting help, and then other resources. Really engaging presentation, like lots of showmanship. Their pitch, if you can watch that, which the content creator that created the production for Fish Tank last year, his name is Daniel Kitchen, did a really great job recording all of the presentations. Team Loss, our second place winners were the potato batteries. This group of boys are Boy Scouts, and they wanted to find a better solution to camping, or not camping, but what is it?
They
power.
They wanted to shift away from fossil fuel in their activities, and one of it was camping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they created a PV system, which was working at Pitch Day during their presentations. Yeah. They were able to do that too because all of the teams get a $200 fund that they can use towards buying materials and prototyping if they wanted to. Throughout the competition too, we provide resources to the students. So we have a website of all of our what we call fish food. Those are resources available to the teams, and then a gallery of subject matter experts. So supporters of NexTech, engineers, scientists, community and business leaders who have kind of offered their expertise to the students if they're interested. And the top teams had connected with one or a few SMEs during the competition to really get knowledge and understanding of what was out there. So I believe that was also a connection. Civil defense was one of their things that they'd looked into and see what's out there. So.
But because the issue of sustainability is so broad, we continue to need experts in a variety of areas that can help us. It's not taxing. A student team might call on you for information or might not. They might, ask for more time and investment in them, or they might not.
I think the most valuable part of the SME gallery is showing the teams that, hey, there are these people that are working right here in our neighborhoods on topics that we might not know about or things that they might be interested in.
This due date is actually to sign up is coming up pretty soon, right? So if you could go a little bit into that.
Teams of 4 students. This season, we're also accepting individual participants because we understand, not all kids learn the same way or work the same way. So you can participate individually or as a team of 2 to 4. You have to reside on Hawaii Island, be in grades 5 through 12. We're asking that our 5th graders, because it's their first time also accepting applications from 5th graders, that you have a letter of recommendation from either an educator or a coach or a sponsorship from one of our NexTech board members, someone who's who knows you, who've gotten to know you through one of our programs. So these 5th graders can also apply. And the new registration deadline is by December 23rd, right before Christmas time. We've extended it to give more 5th graders an opportunity to join us and more students to join us as we get the word out. The new season launch day is January 6th.
Oh, so right around the corner.
So right around the corner,
So
yeah.
just
So it's going to happen.
hit the ball running.
Yeah, and then
We
8
need to
weeks.
tell them how to register.
Yes,
We do. So you can visit our website, our fish tank landing page, nextechhawaii.org/fish tank. There is a call to action button to register. And then if anyone has questions about fish tank before they're not sure or wanting to get more info, they can email us at fishttank@nextechhawaii.org.
I do appreciate you folks for coming in. It was a great sit-down session to talk about NexTech, STEM, STEAM, and all the great things that NexTech is doing. If we wanted to find out more about NexTech in general and upcoming opportunities, Gail, what is similar? It's on the
It's
NexTech
similar
website.
website. It's just nextechhawaii.org. We certainly like to have you place yourself on our mailing list. That's probably the very best way to keep up. We're on Instagram as well, Facebook.
Facebook, we have a Facebook
and
page.
LinkedIn. Yep.
All NexTech. Awesome. Any closing statements from you folks?
I do have to make one thank you to generous sponsors who support us with grants. There is no way we could do all this, even with volunteers, to do this and continue to be tuition free. That's something we take great pride in. Tuition free means that any student who wishes to learn can join us.
With that being said, thank you so much, Gail
Thank
and
you.
Maria, for coming in. And till next time, tune into the Techsum podcast.
Thank you.
Mahalo.
The preceding program was a production of Naleo TV.